Hello, good evening, and welcome along to the finale of Premier Division. I don't know if you can hear me, Kieran.
I think you cut off a bit there.
That might be the famous. Having some problems with that constantly. How are you tonight, Kieran?
I'm doing good. Excited for the season and mostly the game to end.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are. We've actually got some expertise in a commentary box tonight. One of us took a pole position this week. Won't tell everyone else what happened towards the end of that race. Bottled it. And we got a podium sitter and third in the championship.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're surprisingly in a good position tonight to tell everyone what's going on.
Yeah, we can talk like we are the best. We've had the best weekends for weeks.
Absolutely, which is it's rare me coming onto a commentary where I've actually had a good week of racing. Usually it's talking about which barrier I managed to hit, which is not leaving a lot of barriers uncovered. Now we haven't got Evil Master and Colin, who have finished first and I think third in the standings. Or I think Evil will be third. Actually, no, that's a lie. If Andrew gets far... Is Andrew here? No, Andrew, so he will finish third. So we have got a diminished grid. There is a battle between the Williams going on. They are separated by 1 point, Entity ahead of Giraffe in the championship at the moment. And we've got a right old battle going on for 9th in the championship. We've got Quinn, Luke and Huss all separated by less than 4 points. 3 points between them currently. So still some battles to watch out for. Still some bragging rights. We've got the Williams bragging rights up for grabs, and the VDM who's the best brother bragging rights, as well as Volcano, who goes fastest. Giraffe getting himself off to a steady start.
And I'm watching Entity, seeing what lap time he can do.
Yeah, I'm watching Entity. He's got a bit of traffic through the middle sector there. The Mercedes moving it out of the way. And, well, I tell you what, though, he's bloody consistent, Entity. And people have to be careful, because there is a Williams stricken. Oh, and I like the line he's taken here, Kieran. I don't know if you're still on board with Entity, but this is a cracking line. Will he take out the Liquimoli sign? He does, clearly.
Jones, you've seen that line, the grass line.
Yeah, that's. I really like that line. If we're trying to get sponsored by Liquimoli, if you're watching this, I'm sorry about that sign. Take it up with Entity. Luke will pay the fine for us. We've got Smith in chat saying, "Evening, guys. Evening, Mr. Smith." And he's gone for an early prediction. Glassy, Volcano, Davey, 1, 2, and 3. We've got Inorganic saying, "Hello, Kieran. Hello, Mr. Jones. No wall on Tuesday, only an Alfa Romeo." Yeah, I may have really attempted to ruin Mr. Inorganic's race there. I think it's almost back to back, because I did it in ACC as well, and I did it doing the same thing, going on the inside and just completely getting it wrong.
It was caught on stream.
Yeah, I did sincerely apologise straight after. I felt awful. Not bad enough to stop, but yeah, a little bit bad.
To mess up his wheel.
Apparently so. Evil saying, "Well, there is a guaranteed new winner tonight. Anyone can win." Absolutely, we will get our third winner of the season. I'm fancying Higgsy for a win tonight. You know, I can see a McLaren winning, and I know Glassy's had 3 beers at the moment, so he's either going to be super confident or very, very slow reactions. Hopefully the former rather than the latter.
I mean, we've already had a McLaren victory yesterday. He won in first place. He was.
And I'm guessing you can still hear me, Kieran.
I think he just went off there.
Yeah, I'm having one of my classic, and if anyone knows my complaints in the Discord recently, an error on the game, surprisingly enough. So I will rejoin. It's not a connection issue. It's this fantastic game. Smith saying he's unaware of the beers. Too late now. The prediction stands. Absolutely, Mr. Smith. You can take Glassy to the court of arbitration after if he really lets you down. We've got Inorganic saying Davey, Volcano and Higgsy. Well, Davey's come close to a few wins this season, so it'll be good to see him finally get over the line. And as we have Entity, we'll go on. Well, he's on an out. They're all on outlaps. We'll follow Entity in his battle with his teammate. His teammate currently 6th, Entity in 12th. Good evening, Ivor. Nice to see you. And Smith saying my voice is dropping in and out. Let's try and sort this out. If you can let me know in chat if that's now working. I've wrapped the wire around my controller about 4 times. Because that's the natural solution in my head.
Entity hasn't dropped it yet.
Yeah, he's got round that corner. Oh, it's a bit tasty on that curb. And obviously, to give it a bit more of an introduction for tonight, I don't know if you saw, and you probably know this being from Birmingham, Jude Bellingham signed for Real Madrid today and said the only reason he signed for Real Madrid was that his dream of joining RPM died because Luke wouldn't offer him as much money. It's a true story. It's a true story. Yeah. He wanted to give up on football. And he wanted to go into F1 Esports.
I think the Real Madrid team will now have a bunch of toilet paper.
Yeah, well, I think that was part of the deal that was getting offered to him. You know, what is it? Soft, triple velvet. Sounds like an advertisement right here. He could have had a life supply of toilet paper if he'd come to RPM, but apparently 250,000 euros a week speaks much, much louder as Entity comes into the pits after doing his flying lap. We'll go on board with Glassy. There's some predictions on. He's invalidated at the moment. I don't know if I need to enable everything again so we can see. I assume he's not going to go for this lap because he's got hardly any ERS. Let's go on board with Higgsy. Higgsy currently in second, 2 temps off pole. And Higgsy getting all out of shape, keeps it all going very well. And he's pulled out of that lap. So, I think we've got Luke coming behind him. And Colin saying as we go on to Luke, good luck, Luke. Well, you've cursed him, Colin. I'm sorry to say he's invalidated and spun. we have a new inorganic in chat. There is an Aston Martin of Maggot coming behind. Who is on a fast lap? I think Luke just getting out of the way now. Maybe there was a bit of frustration there for Luke because usually no one can outbid him. And Real Madrid have managed to sign Jude Bellingham, and I think he'll be quite irritated by that because I think from what Luke was saying, he wanted to sign Jude Bellingham for big money and then just put him in charge of the spreadsheets. He says that the World Cup he saw a natural talent for it. I don't know quite what he meant. Maga puts himself on provisional pole. Very good lap. I like seeing that. Aston Martin.
Yeah, 2 tenths ahead of Volcano. Davies was a lap time. About 5,000 off Maga.
Yeah, and I've just got on board with Davey now. I was cycling through to the wrong Alfa Romeo for a second now. You can tell I've had a few weeks away. I'm struggling to do all the broadcasting. And Luke in chat saying he's done no laps. This is going to be a disaster tonight. Look, Luke, well, he did. Yeah, he did technically. Yeah. Look, Luke, you're the highest paid commentator in the world. You're going to get points tonight if you finish. Don't worry about it at all. But just make sure you beat your brother and you get yourself ninth for the championship. And Inorganic in chat saying Jude Bellingham is his favourite ever football player.
Don't think he's going to be happy to hear that.
He said, and then he says in his next comment, up the city, I hate Villa. What's that all about?
Wow.
Yeah, I
thought
know.
he was a Villa fan.
I thought he was as well. I'm quite surprised to see that. I thought he was claret and blue.
Wow.
Through and through.
Same. I think he's probably kicked out of the family now.
And Luke, probably not the best person to put it in comments to, because I've now got written evidence if you and Quinn do collide, saying you're going to take him out, as I am the chief steward of this division.
he'll pay you off.
But Colin, his teammate, saying smart thinking, Luke. So Colin's clearly happy with that strategy.
And if you receive a £50 million to just
turn a blind eye.
Yeah, and give Luke 10 million points to beat his teammates.
Absolutely, it's easily done. I don't want to say my price, but DM me if you need to, Luke, and I'll drop you my bank account details very sharply. Volcano did improve on his time, but it wasn't enough. We'll see. Entity's going for another excursion off-road at the moment. I think looks like he thinks he's doing a Paris-Dakar or something, not Formula One at the moment. So his battle with his teammate not going... Well, I was about to say it wasn't going great, but I've just seen he is up ahead of his teammate. That's going to get... I think there's going to be a lot of viewing time tonight on the Williams boys. I think that's going to get really tasty in the midfield.
I can imagine Entity spinning a turn one and then into his teammate. But he would do it perfectly, so he damages Giraffe's wings. And then he'll just be carrying on like normal.
Inorganic in chat saying, wow, I thought we were friends. We absolutely are, to reiterate to anyone. He's not a fan of Bellingham. He's an Aston Villa fan, but he's also complaining about, I think he's always got a hole in the side of his car, either in the shape of Ferrari 488 or an Aston Martin Formula One car. If anyone can do the maths and figure out what cars I drive, you'll know exactly what he's talking about. As Luke does improve, but it's not enough. He's just 800 short of Dragos, who's now going to try and improve his time himself in the Alpine. And he doesn't improve. I think that was an outlap, though. I'm all over the place at the moment, Kieran. It's
I have troubles trying to find who's on a lap in qualifying when I'm on my own.
I feel very rusty with it. Now, Dragos will throw it in towards the right-hander. We've seen Entity have a spin here. We've seen the leader of the first division in the race take a spin round that. But he is a good driver and he manages to get it round. And he'll be coming into the final few corners of the lap now.
Also, the VDM brother battle is
Oh, and Dragos invalidates at the last corner. He did the fastest second sector. Sorry, yes, the
yeah.
VDM battle.
Quinn 2nd and 6th, Luke 12th. It's not really going Luke's way so far, and Huss as well is in 10th, but he's on a very slow outer, so we'll try and improve his that time.
And now Glassy, let's see if he can put a representative lap time in here. He'll be disappointed with Nipe so far, because I know he'll be thinking there's a win on the card. I think a lot of drivers will be thinking there's a win on the card tonight with Evil and Colin not there. And Glassy 4 temps up through the first sector, so if you can hold on to that, that's going to be at least looking like close to P5, but can he find more time? Williams getting out of the way ahead. Looks quick through here. Ooh, but nearly a bit of a moment, keeps it all together. Just a scruffy few corners for Glassy through here. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's not improved in that sector. Yeah, he's actually dropped time now, so he's only 2 up now. And he is going to straighten this up and get as close to the wall as possible as Davey puts in a cracking lap of 107.996 and the first driver to get into the 7s. Glassy does improve, just 8 thousandths off his teammate Higgsley there. It's going to be very, very tight tonight because these lap times are very close. We'll go up to... I'm going to go... Is Maggot on a lap? Maggot's not on a lap. Higsy is not on a lap, but Higsy did just improve by 4 temps. Sminotla is 1.5 temps up through the first 2 sectors, so he could put himself back into the podium spots for qualifying. Huss has just retired, so he's definitely not improving. And Sminotla actually lost a bit of time in that final sector. I'm going to go on board with... Yeah, you've great minds think alike there, Kieran. I love it. Love it. That's just some synergy that you get from being in the same team on ACC. Maggot getting very, very wide into the first corner there. Not as tidy as he would have been hoping for. And yeah, 2.5 temps down. So he's really, really got to hustle this Aston Martin round the next 2 sectors to have any chance, because he now effectively needs to find 4 temps in the last 2 sectors. And he runs deep again. I think he's just pushing that little bit too hard at the moment and a bit scrappy there, very much like Glassy was through that sector. And Giraffe, in the battle for Williams, has put himself up to 6th, and Maggot aborts the lap. We've got Volcano coming behind, who aborts it very differently. And Sminotla, I don't think he'll have the... Yeah, he's pitting. So I think that is our grid. Well, Giraffe and Entity, first blood to Giraffe, but they're very, very close. Just 400ths in it. And Davey, Maggot and Higsy, first, second and third. Yeah, I saw no prediction saying Maggot. Maggot's had a very, very good season when he's finished this year. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him on the podium. But it is very, very tight through the top 4. Well, and to be fair, the whole midfield. And then Luke, Huss and Dragos just a little bit adrift. Do you have any predictions for the race after watching that, Mr. Kieran?
Well, I'm going to go. I think Davey's going to take the victory. Then I think it's going to be Volcano and either Maggot or Higsy. I'm going to go with Higsy through bias. Biasing.
Yeah, and you see the grid for the final time on this game and for this season. And 5th to 7th there, looking very patriotic for the Brits. And actually, what the surprise for me tonight has actually been the pace of the VDM brothers, Quinn and Luke. Okay, Quinn's closer to it, but it's not often you see them that far back.
Yeah, they'll have to make some positions, or Quinn might just try and hold on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've just Colin saying Davey is due a win. I think I totally agree with that one. Luke saying funny thing is Quinn raced on my wheel yesterday and changed his setup. Coincidence? I don't think so. It's a bit of a conspiracy theory going on at the moment. I hope you've got CCTV set up, Luke, because get a ticket opened. I'm not really sure what's happening here. I'm now currently in a car.
Are you driving?
Apparently, so I'm going to actually come out for a second.
Can't see anything.
I think this
Okay.
the errors I have on this game is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah,
can you imagine? I mean, I'd be off for the first corner anyway, so I don't know if there's any point me actually leaving.
Which car were you in?
I was in a Mercedes. You'll see me at the back of the grid.
What are you taking over Quinn?
I really, really hope it doesn't put my car in a race, because otherwise it could cause some huge problems. Yeah, anyone watching back, apologies.
I do see your name in the leaderboard.
Yeah, Colin saying live on track commentary. Inorganic saying that would be fantastic. That's just because you've seen me drive. Oh, I am racing apparently.
You are? Let's go!
I might get points.
Angle.
Okay, so I've managed to get back into spectator. I apologise to all Premier Division.
You might as well just take control of the vehicle.
Absolutely, I would not do that, because I'm actually going to get points if I don't take control of it, rather than a DNF.
You are going on mediums. It doesn't seem to be any gambles.
Colin saying penalty points for Jones for joining after it started.
Disqualified.
Yeah, I know. I think that's a race ban coming there. I've got to be honest. It's just really poor show from someone who's meant to be an admin. I'm currently, if I sound distracted, just typing in Premier Chat to say I've had an error. If they see a Mercedes, be careful.
Maybe it might make your shooting easier, because if there's a crash and you're right behind them, you've seen everything.
Well, this is it. I'll just go on board here, and yeah, Jones seems to be overtaking people now to the grid, and also be the only driver not warming his tyres up. Very interesting tactic there.
Oh, Davy's left.
Luke's theory of Mercedes sabotage could be coming true. Davy's left. I don't think I saw that. You sure?
I'm pretty sure I did see...
Oh, Dragos. Oh no, it's Dragos disqualified and Huss. Right, so I'll hand this over to you, Mr. Kieran.
I can't see the lights. Okay, let's go.
Lovely, lovely stuff for the final time this season. That was the wonderful, the beautiful voice of Mr. Kieran, as Davey does get a very good start, gets tapped, and Maggot now up the inside at the second corner. Volcano, 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Davey. I did not see him make any contact with Davey. The big news, though, is RPM Jones has made his way up into 12th position. I think that's because there was a spinner. I don't know what happened to us there. I was struggling to get a good angle on it. Yeah, we do have a virtual safety car. So we've been green for the best part of 5 seconds. Smith saying cameraman car, it absolutely is. It's like having our own drone, but on the track level. That's what it is. It's a new kind of spectating.
Helmet cam.
Absolutely. We've got Giraffe still ahead of Entity. So that battle's going to kick off. Glassy having an okay start up there into 5th. I'll see who made up the positions. As I said, Volcano picking up a penalty. I didn't think it was Volcano that actually touched Davey, though. It looked like it was Maggot.
I think from the camera angle I had, Volcano had a great start and then was on the inside. And then I think broke a bit too late and just tapped him.
Oh, so I have got it completely wrong. Not for the first time. Davey saying, good game this. Oh, well, Davey, you are now currently competing with me as the 2 AIs, so...
Oh, you're going to the pit. Luke and us as well.
I'm just hoping I get a good box out of there and I can maybe jump them.
Hold them up?
I think, yeah. Oh, that's Davey's AI dropping back. And yeah, unlucky Davey. I feel for you. It's not the first time. It might be the same as what I've been having, and just random errors all the time. As goes by a Mercedes, not the Mercedes everyone was hoping to see get past. That Mercedes is in 12th. And Davey saying, Mike, my AI is causing carnage. It absolutely is. But I tell you who someone is that is hoping for that carnage will be Entity, who's lost pace with his teammate, Giraffe. Giraffe now side by side, and Davey, I tell you what, this is some real aggressive driving from you here. I'm all for it. Not giving this position up. And Giraffe is still fighting. An Entity must be absolutely loving seeing this. He's gained a little bit, not as much as he would have hoped. And Giraffe now round the outside, finally getting past the stricken Alfa Romeo, and Sminotla now going up the inside. This could get very messy through here. And yeah, Giraffe running really, really wide, and he's now going to be under lots and lots of pressure of Sminotla as Maggot in the Aston Martin is building up his gap. And Volcano seconds with Glassy and Higgsy, who've just swapped positions, chasing after the front two. So now Giraffe stuck behind Sminotla, and you can see Entity there just getting past. Smith saying, I think my stream is running a few minutes behind. What's happening? Is there going to be any more technical problems tonight? Oh, God.
Maggot's had a spin, I think.
And you're absolutely right. Maggot has had a spin. He's down in 5th now. So we've now got a Volcano and McLaren podium at the moment. And I tell you what, my screen is looking very, very glitchy indeed at the moment. And Colin's saying great advice in chat, and I would have to agree with that. The standard of the updates on this game has been pretty poor at times. It just seems to have got worse. But less politics. Giraffe going really deep, and that is going to bring Entity further back into this fight. And I'm really hoping we see the Williams do a bit of battle, because the VDM brother battle has severely gone away with Luke having to make the early stop.
He will be hoping for a safety car now.
Luckily, he's got 2 slow-moving AIs out there. One who appeared very late that could cause safety cars. I bet he was really hoping that I was actually in the race, because then he almost certainly would have a safety car. Now, Glassy's actually gaining quite a lot on Volcano here, and Glassy, who really seemed to be struggling after those 3 beers in qualifying, it looks like the beers have finally started to take some kind of hold of him and give him a bit of confidence boost, and he's now chasing down Volcano for first place. Ivor in chat saying Monday night a Assetto Corsa Competizione Championship, and that is completely right, Mr. Ivor. Anyone watching the stream who is interested in doing some GT endurance races, be sure to drop the admin team a message. And we have quite an exciting championship happening there, though. So Glassy now really, really close, and he's dropped Higgsy a little bit. So my prediction of Higgsy winning is looking less likely, and everyone who said Glassy in chat, Smith, is looking very good for it. So Smith getting worried before is, I hope he put his bet on Bet RPM, because it's looking very good at the moment.
And they say drink driving is bad. And plus, Volcano has the 5-second time
Oh,
penalty as
yeah,
well.
as Volcano just has a massive snap in that corner. We saw him spin there late in qualifying, and that has allowed Glassy to have a really easy overtake and he's through, but he won't have the DRS. Volcano will have the helping of DRS. Sorry, Kieran.
Quinn has spun.
And Quinn has spun, and that will be music to Luke's ears at the moment. Not only will his RPM end of season bonus be coming into him, and although he'll probably be paying that straight back out. Oh, as Glassy spins! Glassy on the curb, too much. And, disaster for Glassy. And he's managed to get back on, but he is now being overtaken by Giraffe. And as you said, yeah, Quinn now in 7th after his spin. So a lot of drivers making a few mistakes at the moment.
Yeah, Quinn just got past him now. But I think Glassy still has the pace. So could see a climb through the field.
Yeah, and he's straight back past Quinn now with a very nice little move through there. And Glassy's got it all to do. And we've already seen the lead swap hands 4 times. No, 5 times? 4 times. 4 or 5 times. One of the two.
I haven't been counting.
Multiple times it's swapped. Smith saying the commentary doesn't match what's happening for me. I've refreshed it again and now live. I hope that means it's sorted so that we're not just commentating on random stuff that's not happening on your screen. So Volcano back in the lead, Higgsy a bit further back, but as you did mention, Volcano with that penalty, I'm sure we might see that one in the steward's office with the fact it involved an AI. And Smith saying, all sorted. That's very good to hear. And Maggot already back up into 3rd with all those spins. And Spinotler into 4th. Giraffe starting to put some drivers between him and Entity. But I think I know what Entity's doing. He said to me he was going to try a massive overcut. So I think he might be going hards to softs.
Wait, was that Giraffe? Who said that?
Entity said that. I might have said Giraffe, but I actually meant to say Entity. As Glassy back passed on those medium tyres. And Smith reporting that Maggot has rear wing damage. Well, he's driving like an absolute champion at the moment because he is going very, very well. Peter saying, come on, Luke and Quinn. Well, currently, well, I'll tell you what, Peter, Luke must be driving well because he's holding off a driver down there in 13th on the left-hand side of your screen now that has been called bang average to poor. And Smith saying, yeah, Maggot had rear wing damage from lap 3. He's got 33% damage. But he is actually gaining on Higgsy at the moment. So he's driving. Maybe he had loads of rear wing on, so he's actually managed to get rid of some, and he's got a bit more pace on the straights now.
Maybe.
But I'm just gonna have a little look at this battle here with Quinn and Giraffe getting very, very close. Entity now just one position behind, with Glassy making the overtakes. Or one driver behind. And there goes Giraffe. There goes Giraffe. And Entity now, he just needs to keep this clean. He's got the 1 point advantage. It looks like Giraffe has a bit of a pace advantage, but Giraffe is now 5 seconds back.
Oh, and he's
spun again.
Tires must be...
Yeah, they'll be really overheated. And yeah, absolute nightmare. And I think Dragos has had a spin as well because he's dropped way back from this, and he's got...
Oh, and Glassy's had another spin as well.
So everyone's spinning at the moment. Oh, an Entity nearly going straight into the back of Glassy there. Fortunately, he didn't. Smith saying Hamilton apparently has some front wing damage. So that must be the 13th place driver. Yeah, it's not the first time I've been compared to Lewis Hamilton. Hashtag blessed. No, more like when his engine blows up or something. So Maggot still, he's gained about a tenth, nearly 2 tenths on Higgsy, so that's kind of one of the closer battles. We got Luke close in behind Dragos now, so Luke's starting to find a little bit of race pace here. And obviously he's already pitted, so he's a bit out of sync with everyone at the moment.
And I think Luke got past Davey. Peter, I know he's very close to Dragos, so he's still very far back from Quinn, but if Luke can make it, oh no, he's on the mediums. Oh, he can't, so...
Yeah, I imagine he might be doing mediums now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he started on hards. Cannot remember.
And we've got Smith down at the Skypad saying Maggot is gaining through sectors 1 and 3, but that means Higgsy just maybe a bit better in sector 2 at the moment, but Maggot's gained massively through there, about 6 tenths, and Smith also reporting that Higgsy has 1 warning. This is our amazing third commentator here. We've never heard his voice on commentary because he's actually quicker at typing than he is talking. Sometimes I just don't know what comes out of my mouth. It's absolutely diarrhea from the mouth. Now, Smith says never say never. Well, we'd love to see you in the booth sometimes. My commentary booth, and I don't know if you're in the same one actually. I'm absolutely sweating just watching this. I think that actually might be to do with the heat in the commentary box. Maggot very, very close now, and this rear wing damage doesn't seem to be bothering him at all as Luke makes the move past Dragos into 9th position, and he'll be hoping that Quinn has another spin. Glassy back on the charge again. Hopefully he can just stop from spinning for a little while, because when he's been facing the right direction, he's been extremely quick.
Yeah, I think Glassy's had the pace for probably a win. Because of his 2 spins.
Well, I thought he was going to run away with it when he got past Volcanoes like that, with his pace at that time, but yeah, a couple of spins later and he finds himself in 6th position, and Maggot just not got the straight line speed at the moment, and unfortunately here the guys are catching a rogue Mercedes. But very nice of that Mercedes. That's great driving from the back marker to get out the way very nicely and not affect this battle too much. Touch wood.
What a great driver.
Yeah, touch wood. That will continue to be the case, but who knows? And on board with another Mercedes there, and Quinn taking a very interesting line through there. Inorganic saying that, and this doesn't surprise me, as Quinn, probably feeling the pressure of being in a team with the GOAT, has spun, and that has allowed Entity through as well as Glassy and Quinn, second spin of the race, and it's a recurring theme at the moment, just driver errors and people having spins. As I say that, Maggot's gone off the track as well on the same grass that Entity was cutting during qualifying, and his tyres are going to feel really horrid through here, and Entity will get... Well, Entity's going to get the DRS, and Maggot's going to be off onto the grass again.
Wow.
I don't know if that was a legit...
Happy to see that.
Yeah, Glassy flying and Glassy pits. Yeah, and Glassy has had the pace, so he might just be trying something here. And I think a lot of people are luckily, and maybe not going to get a safety car, are spinning in areas of the track where there's a lot of runoff or grass. So they're not actually getting that much damage or in danger of DNFing at the moment.
I don't know if I saw correctly, I think Giraffe might have had a spin or something.
Yeah, I think you might be right. He's... Now, Colin's saying reset into the track. I know, and asking me if I taught him that. I try and teach everyone, go into pause, press down a few times, press X, he resets the track. It is, however, illegal in RPM. But I do know I've been off there before, which may not be a surprise to you guys. I've spun there and sometimes when you're on the grass there, the game automatically resets you. I've had it before. So that's the one thing I'm just thinking about. But I can check with you, with Maggot after the race. And got some quality comments coming in tonight. Yeah, I did see that pop up on screen in 3 seconds. So it's nightmare race for Giraffe in the Williams battle at the moment. As Quinn now into the pits, wanting to get some new tyres. Some quality comments in the chat tonight. Inorganic, and I think this is definitely right, and we're on board with confirming what we all thought to be true after the last 2 minutes. Maggot is in fact the fastest lawnmower driver in the Western Hemisphere. And if you inquire with RPM in the Discord, you will get discounts on Maggot's garden keeping business. He's very good with the lawns. I've heard he can also set you up some nice vegetable patches. Sometimes I even speak to myself and I'm like, what the hell am I saying at this point? Colin, damn, Entity in fourth. Well, Entity will soon be in third should he stay out. So Entity going very, very well. And he's just kept it clean at the moment. I've seen him have a few moments, but he's just known where that line is. And whilst everyone's faltering and spinning and making mistakes, he has kept it very clean. And, of course, starting on the hard tyres, so he will have the mediums towards the end. Volcano, it's been a very, very lonely race for him for the last 5-6 laps. He is now 15 seconds ahead because Sminotler was behind some of the chaos and is now, 14 seconds adrift.
And start worrying about that 5-second penalty for now.
Absolutely not, but I think that depends a bit on Glassy's terrific pace. If Glassy can do what he was doing on the mediums on the hards, then he's still well in this race. And we've seen drivers spinning left, right and centre, so I'm not even sure it's going to end up anything like what we're looking at the moment. Seems like a war of attrition at the moment. I'd even potentially say Entity could win this because he's the only driver we haven't seen, I think, have one of those bigger moments. And Smith saying fastest sector 2 of the race has just been put down by Glassy, so he has got the bit between his teeth and he is going for it. But currently we're riding on board with Dragos, trying to see if he can get past Luke. I think pitting, no, just getting very tight to the curb and managing to break that toe just enough that he'll be able to take the first corner, but he'll be under attack again into turn 4 at the end of this next straight.
And Quinn behind. He's hoping that all this battling will slow them down a bit and bring him into it.
That's absolutely true because he just needs to outscore Luke by, he needs to just at least have the same points as Luke, doesn't he, I think. But at the moment, Huss is not going to be taking that 9th place in the championship because he's a bit out of this race with these guys. But a fastest lap could change a lot tonight.
Who currently has the fastest lap?
I think that will be Mr. Glassy himself. I will check.
Yeah, it is. He's the only one who's got into the 110s.
Yeah, that's some cracking pace there. But we can see it's starting to get a bit muddled up, the order, because some people have stopped and some others haven't, as Volcano has now pitted. And he will be coming out onto the hard tyres, I believe, the same as the drivers behind him. So where will Volcano filter out? Is he out? Well, he filters out back into third, so he's in a pretty decent position, 6.5 seconds behind Entity. But Higgsy actually massively closing up that gap by undercutting him, and is now just 1.1, less than that, 0.8 seconds behind.
And if Higgsy can get DRS, he can battle Volcano, which could help Glassy.
Yeah,
his pace.
This is absolutely not over yet. And yeah, looking around, you've got Maggot, Entity, Smonotler, Dragos still to pit. Giraffe will need to pit. Davey, well, sorry Davey if you're still watching. 12th and 13th are essentially irrelevant at this point. I think the commentators say that about me most Tuesdays, though. So, back on board with Pigsy. Dragos is still very, very close behind Luke. Actually, he's extremely close behind, and he's going for it. And he sends it up the inside. Has he got it done? Luke trying to hang it around the outside. He is doing that. Now he's going to be on the outside again. Getting very, very close. Who's going to have DRS here? And that will be Luke. So he will possibly hold on to this position into the corner. But Dragos is going to stick this one down the inside again. Luke has to take a wider line. And they are just going wheel to wheel all the way around. And Luke just holding on to that one. And he's battling for this one hard. I'm just going to go back on board with Higgsy. See if he can stay in DRS of Volcano. And actually out in front, Entity's closing the gap on Smonotler right now.
Where's his pace been all season?
Yeah, Entity looking very impressive tonight. Higgsy will be too far back, so I'm going to go straight back to this battle at the back. Well, I say the back in for 7th at the moment. And Quinn now joining this battle, so this could start to get very, very spicy indeed. We've seen Luke and Quinn do battle quite a few times this season. And Luke says he doesn't want to do battle. But Luke's going to be on those mediums, I'd imagine, to the end now. So he'll have a fast tyre. And Quinn 5 laps into those hard tyres. So his tyres are going to be maybe a little bit more stressed, but obviously they are more durable. But he is now right on the back of Dragos. Luke needs to hope, because he's going to have the tyre advantage, that Dragos just holds Quinn up for a few laps here.
Yeah, Luke has Quinn. I mean, not Quinn. He has you behind him. And
yeah,
Glassy
spun again, yeah. I just caught it. And these guys quickly approaching Glassy. And it's definitely a race of what could have been for Mr. Glassy here. He's been by far the quickest car on the track, but just not always facing in the right direction. Colin's saying Luke needs a safety car. Yeah, I think Luke does need a safety car. With this little amount of drivers, though, I doubt there is going to be a safety car. As Quinn now past Dragos, and can't get a good angle on it, and that should be pretty clear cut, because Dragos now on 19 lap old hard tyres. And Giraffe also, he is going to struggle, I think, in the battle against Entity, because Entity's going to have those much fresher tyres at the end. So even if he does get demoted, he's just going to have the pace over Giraffe. Although I say that, Giraffe's going long, isn't he, as well? I've just noticed. But he is miles behind on track currently, because as we can see, Entity coming into the final few corners. Volcano starting to reel these guys in. Higgsy going with him. Smonotler and Entity, well, Smonotler pits. I was just about to ask that question, when will they pit? But Smonotler pits. Entity, rub your eyes, chat, and rub your eyes again. Seeing is believing, and that is Mr. Entity. What he calls himself, the Williams GOAT. Nobody else seems to call him that, but he is leading a lap for the first time I've ever seen him, for the first time this season. Outrageous stuff. And, well, what a race he's having. And Colin, I can see, he's put the eyes emoji in chat. He can't believe his eyes either. It's absolute madness. The odds of this on Bet RPM before the race were 10,000 to 1. Luckily, I put loads of money on it. I did have to borrow from Luke, though, so he's liable to actually claim all my winnings on that one, unfortunately. So he might actually end up signing that guy who joined Real Madrid, whose name I can no longer mention because it might upset Inorganic. Right, so back to the F1. You can tell it's the last race of this game, can't you? all the professionalism has gone out of the window completely. Colin says, I had a tenner on Entity, but not for leading the lap. I'm assuming that was for a spin or a DNF. And Inorganic saying, Entity going hard, soft. Yeah, that's what I spoke to him Tuesday night, and I think that's what he said he was going to do. But he's also had a whole long Wednesday to think about that strategy. Will he stay out one more lap to add to his laps led? Well, he has. This is going to be his second lap led, and it's unbelievable stuff. I might have to add that to the driver stats, but I'm going to miss out on everyone else's laps led because I can only remember who's led this race. My memory's not that good. He is getting caught very, very quickly, though, by Volcano and Higgsy at the moment. But if he pits for softs, if he just keeps going, he is going to be absolutely rapid at the end, and I think he'll try and take the fastest lap. I think Dragos, Huss, Giraffe, they've all pitted as well now, so they are onto the mediums. And Entity now, it's like he's been doing this all his career, enters the third lap of his career in the lead. And look at this, it looks like he's been doing it for years. He must have been going to the Colin School of Racing. Colin, have you got any tips you can put in chat for Entity when leading the race? Because he'll probably be thinking, where can I spin next? Which I don't think is the thing to be thinking. Although I say that, he's been absolutely consistent tonight.
I think if Entity does pit, he will come out far ahead of Giraffe.
You know what? I think I've spotted an issue for these guys. And it comes in the shape of a very dodgy Mercedes driver going onto the start-finish straight right now. Yeah, so they're going to have a back marker soon. Colin says he'd tell Entity the opposite of what he's thinking at all times. Fair enough. And Entity's laps led comes to an end after leading 4 laps. He didn't fight it too hard. He knows his race is just to get these tyres to the pit, and a podium could be on because he is going to be absolutely flying at the end. Maggot also seems to be doing the same strategy, but he is 9 seconds down the road. So, Volcano, normal position resumed for him. And Higgsy actually not closing in on this one too much. I think Entity will be looking to stick with Volcano if he can on these old hard tyres, just to borrow a bit of DRS, just to make it a little bit more comfortable for when he does pit. Gain any time he can. And yeah, Higgsy's not making the inroads, I think, but nearly runs wide there, so he's actually going to drop a bit further back. So Entity's got some breathing space. He's not got much battles to be expected at the moment, but I think the way things are going, Volcano could be the third race winner we see in Premier Division this season. I'm going to get this out of the way before it happens. That could be Curse the commentator, and I apologise. But I think Entity's on for a podium here. As Maggot pits, he doesn't want those hard tyres anymore, so he's going to switch to mediums, I'd imagine.
We'll see. He does go into mediums.
Yeah, so I still think Entity needs to get a few more laps on these hards before he can really take those softs to the end. And Colin's saying fair play to Entity, absolutely fair play to Entity, because as Colin says, it's such a difficult strategy. Nice Mercedes getting out of Volcano's way. I really hope this Mercedes gets out of Entity's way.
Might give him DRS.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing to watch out for here is Luke really needs that safety car or something, because he's 18 seconds down on Quinn, so that will confirm Quinn for 9th place in the championship. But he is right next to Huss on the track. Okay, 7 seconds apart, but that could still change because they're only separated by 2 points in the championship, so Huss needs to pass Luke to take 10th. what battles have we got going on? We've got Dragos actually close behind us. We'll have a look what's going on here.
Yeah, when Huss got the fastest lap, he was right behind Dragos, and then he passed him at turn 4.
Yeah, and Giraffe trying to salvage whatever he can, but coming down to the line when he thought he could steal the championship place from his teammate Entity. Turns out Entity's had the absolute race of his life, and will claim that position in the championship, the bragging rights for next season in the Williams garage.
Yeah, and Draft just went off at turn 1, so it doesn't make it any better for him.
Doesn't look like he lost too much time, no. So he's still not too far away from Dragos, just under 2 seconds. And Colin, this is why we need you in a commentary booth, because I completely forgot about Volcano's penalty. Volcano served the penalty in the pit lane, so that's why Higgsy was so close. It wasn't the power of the undercut at all. There may have been a bit of undercut in there, but it's hard to know now. We'll never be able to figure that one out. I'm just trying to protect my own back if I actually know something. I mean, the one thing we know for sure is what Entity's strategy is, and I think Entity will be taking the fastest lap without a doubt on those softs. I just noticed Glassy back into 5th position here, and he's catching Sminotla in 4th, so Glassy will gain position, and there's still a potential podium spot here, because Entity will have to pit, but then Entity's going to be storming through the field. Mocky in chat saying he thinks Entity's going to finish 7th position. I think his pace differential on those soft tyres is going to be so huge he'll get a few back. I'm not sure he'll get the podium. It's going to be close. He could probably do with a few more laps. Inorganic saying he's keeping everything crossed for Higgsy. Yeah, Higgsy could do with a little bit of luck at the moment because Volcano is just managing this race out front. As Entity now leaving the pit lane on the soft tyres, he's going to potentially fall behind Quinn here. It's going to actually be quite tight behind Quinn, but he'll be clear of Maggot comfortably, I do believe. Yeah, and there is Entity, and we will need Smith to be watching those timing screens he is surrounded by currently, because Entity is going to be absolutely flying. Just back on board with Glassy, who's still trying to close this gap on Sminotla, who's in the final podium position here. I think Sminotla's actually gaining on Higgsy a little bit at the moment.
Gap's currently at 3.5. Got Glassy not too far behind him.
Considering Glassy's had so many spins, it's quite incredible to think he's only 12 seconds off the lead. Because he seems to have been backwards quite a few times. So clearly he's still got some pace in that car. Now, there could be something very interesting behind here. I think here, Entity's going to catch Quinn quicker than, even though he's 4 seconds behind, quicker than Glassy or Sminotla are going to catch Higgsy, even though they're less time behind each other.
Yeah, he's making the most out of them softs. Currently 3.4.
Yeah, Colin's saying he thinks Volcano can cruise now, and I absolutely think that's true. Barring any late fiascos, Volcano has dictated this nicely, and Entity having to get past that pesky little Mercedes again. And he's done that just fine, and so has... I know Maggot's got to get past him next. Glassy now 1.1 seconds behind Sminotla. Sminotla also took half a second out of Higgsy. The final podium spots are not sorted at all here, because these could change between these three drivers for second and third.
Yeah,
in the last 6 laps quite easily.
Glassie's just outside of DRS. He can close it in sector 2. He does seem to be doing now. Could be a double McLaren podium.
Yeah, absolutely. And surprisingly, Entity only did a 10.7 on those soft tyres. So he's not closing up as much as he would like. Mocky saying, can he change his guess? What was your first guess? First of all,
to be 7th.
Entity to be 7th. Oh wait, sorry, because he's 6th already. I mean, that's quite a late guess anyway, but still managed to make a bit of a mess of it there, Mocky. You can change your guess. I'd like to hear where you think Entity could get to. I think at this point it's probably just 5th position. He's running out of time and also not gaining as much as we thought he would on these soft tyres.
And now Glassie. I don't know where the times come from, where he's gained so much time. It's been Nossler, but 4 tenths.
Yeah, and it could be a McLaren 2-3. And as I say that in Organic Set and Chat, it could be a McLaren 2-3, as long as they don't get the engine issue that plagued them yesterday.
Oh yes. Booty just randomly had a problem with the engine that let me pass onto the podium. Weren't planned, it was completely accidental.
I believe you completely, as your teammate on Monday. Any other week, I wouldn't believe you.
And then Entity's also in DRS.
Yeah, he actually took a lot of time out that time. I don't know who to go on board with here. I think Entity has more of a chance because we've got 2 DRS zones. And he'll be really keen to get past Quinn here and have his best finish of the year. Well, Quinn then picks up a 3-second penalty. So Entity now not fully needing to get past, but I think he'll still want to get it done on track.
Giraffe's spun, so just makes things even better for Entity.
No, well, Quinn defended extremely hard into turn 4. Got to be careful not making excessive amounts of moves. And I'm going to go back on board with Glassie, who's coming through the final corner now, and he's got a good exit as well as Giraffe. And there, Spinotla lost it, and not only that, Glassie was going to have him anyway, I think, but there's going to be a safety car, is there? There is a safety car, and this changes everything. Glassie and Higgsy they're going to double stack, so this could be a bit of a problem. But
I think Higgsy just damaged his wing on pit entry.
I saw some wing, but I don't know if it was Higgsy. He seemed to be in control. They're going to be held up here slightly. Volcano had gone past the pit lane, so he's going to be really, really not helped by this. Obviously, Entity's going to carry on. He's on 5-lap-old softs. They're not going to be quite as fresh. But
go on, Entity.
He's got himself back on the podium as Mocky had just made his prediction for 5th position. A safety car came out. Mocky, F122 does not want you to get it right tonight. And Volcano, he'll have enough time to pit though. But he's going to be under pressure after cruising for a while. He's got to maintain the restart here. And try and catch people unawares when he does go, because there's going to be, I guess, 2 laps at most? 35 and 36, I guess.
I'm not too sure.
But you know what that does mean, Kieran, and I think this is what everyone in chat will be really excited about. That puts RPM Jones on his debut in Premier Division. That will put him up into 12th position. And you say he's not in the championship, but he will be getting those points. It helps when you manage the spreadsheets. Ivor said, I had a £200 bet on Giraffe for causing a safety car. Either, as always with Bet RPM, the most rogue betting website on the planet. The betting website that does not want to pay out because of its lack of funds to even be a betting website in the first place. We will need a receipt to prove this. Don't bother sending it to me. I know it always sounds like I'm in charge of Bet RPM. Just send it to Luke. He'll sort you out. If he owes you €200,000, not a problem for Luke. That's pocket change. He is the most expensive commentator to hire in the world. So, Entity on the podium. And this is going to be a finale sprint to the line. And we are definitely going to see a new winner here for Premier Division. But it could be anyone. I mean, you'd have to say Glassy, Entity, Volcano on the softs, looking good. But Higgsy, Maggot, they're on the mediums, which isn't quite as good. But obviously Glassy has 2 cars between him and the other soft runners. It could well be a battle between Entity and Volcano. And a safety car is in this lap. It tells you very late here. I actually had to do some safety car restarts, which I found very, very confusing. Inorganic, thanks for the small print. All bets are void if Colin doesn't finish the race. Thank you very much. Always read the terms and conditions. As Volcano bolts and Entity is caught napping, and Entity had an absolute disaster off the restart. He should be... Oh! And it gets very close with Higgsy. Did they make contact? I'm not sure, but it's going to be so tight. There's 4 cars on top of each other. And Mocky said Entity's cooking. Entity still hurts, but who knows what's going to happen. Higgsy looking to send it down the inside. He does send it down the inside. And Glassy now looking to get through, but he hits Entity and he's crashed into the wall. He's crashed into the wall. So Glassy's chances are over. Entity still going, but Volcano's going to take... He's cruising more than he ever has all race. Everyone was fighting behind him. He must have been loving it. So, I'm going to have to send Glassy a message after this because I've outraced him tonight.
Also, Luke and Quinn,
and that has come alive. Luke is desperate to get this move done now because if he gets past Quinn here, he officially beats him in a championship. But Huss, if he gets past both of them, he beats both of them in a championship. So it's all to play for between these 3 drivers, and still all to play for at the front on the podium. It could all change. We are on the last lap though now, and it looks actually more like Quinn. Oh, Colin, this is why we need you in the commentary box. Quinn and Dragos have penalties, so Luke is going to take the championship position of 9th ahead of them. So Quinn needs to get past Dragos and actually get up the road. Sminotla also having a look at Entity here. Not quite doing. Quinn forced his way past Dragos, trying to hang it round the outside. Not able to get back at him, and Quinn now needs to stretch his legs, otherwise he is going to lose the 9th position that he has been holding so dearly over his brother and claim the bragging rights there as Maggot picks up a penalty, but he's down in 9th, and that's not going to affect his finishing position too much. We'll get on board with this battle right to the end. Sminotla is going to drain his ERS, but I imagine so is Entity. Entity looks like he's run out of ERS. It's a drag race to the line for the final podium spot. And Entity just takes it. Higgsy finishing second ahead. Volcano takes a great win. I forgot to mention that. Luke takes the championship points away from his brother and will finish 9th for the championship. Quinn 6th. Dragos 7th. Maggot 8th. Huss 9th. Davey 10th. Glassy 11th. And RPM Jones 12th. Who looks like he's being held up at the moment, but I
think driver of the week goes to Jones.
Yeah. for driving and commentating at the same time. There you go.
Yeah,
I was
9
just
to
watching
11.
I was watching on board what was happening with us and my AI. Then I was like, what's happening here? Wow, that all changed very quickly. So I guess we best do podium interviews because we might never get a chance to have Entity in on a podium interview. I will invite people if I can.
I think Entity's going to be in every single podium interview from now on.
So we had Higgsy, we had Volcano, and we had Entity. Entity who should be able to join. Where is this? This is the unprofessional sound of me trying to figure out how to invite people to this. Right, let me just drop a message in the Discord for them. So what did you think of that?
Well, that was an amazing end. I think Entity on podium, I think that's going to be a driver of the week, maybe. He's joined the party now.
Yeah,
Still.
it's absolutely a chance for it. Unbelievable. Wow, Mr. Entity. That late that late safety car worked out quite nicely, didn't it?
Yeah, it was funny. Obviously, it was caused by my teammates as well. But finally,
Absolutely. If you're watching this, Giraffe, you've absolutely embarrassed yourself. But what I was going to say was, also we saw you make one of possibly the worst restarts to a safety car late on, caught absolutely napping by Volcano. And it got really, really hairy in those first few corners.
I was very focused.
Yeah, and well, you hung on well. We thought for a second you might have. We were actually surprised. We thought you were going to have. Oh, poor Entity, we can't hear him. So no one's able to hear any of your answers at the moment. You've finally got on a podium interview.
Oh no, it's heartbreaking.
We'll reiterate what he said. He said he's really happy Jude Bellingham wants to join RPM and that he hopes Brighton get relegated next season. And he had a fairly average race. That's what I'm hearing, if you can't hear him in chat.
A lot of people wondering where Colin was today. The reason why you might not be able to hear me on the party is actually I've shared playing with Colin. Colin was actually the driver, and that's how we got on the podium.
So what I said there was Giraffe is a better driver than him, and he didn't deserve to beat him.
Yeah, absolutely true. Well, I think that was a good podium interview for you there, Entity.
I'll never do another one.
That's why we were so desperate to get you in. We thought, when are we going to get a chance to do this again? But we didn't really get a chance to do it. But I'll move on from you, Entity, as no one can hear you anyway. And we've got Higgsy, who finished second. Are you there, Higgsy?
Yeah, I'm here. How's it going?
Yeah, good, mate. How was that for you?
Up until about the last few laps, it was a fairly boring race for me, to be honest. I was on a race on my own. Volcano had gone right off, and then Glass had a few incidents behind. And yeah, I was just pretty much on a race on my own until the restart.
Yeah, and we thought you'd nearly undercut Volcano at one point, but I think he had to serve a 5-second penalty, so that was part of it.
I think there was early contact between Volcano and Davies AI, which got the 5 seconds. But it needed a lot more than 5 for me to catch him.
Yeah, I'd also like to take this moment. I was having errors with the game. I don't know if you saw a very slow-moving Mercedes out there. It was actually moving much quicker than if I'd actually been driving, though. So, in fairness, I was quite impressive. Yeah, Premier Division debut. Very good. Yeah, I did. Outraged giraffe. But it's a good way to end the season, Higgsy. You've had multiple podiums, I think, this season. Is that your third this season, I think?
Yeah, something like that. It's my first P2 though, so I'll take it, even if it means all the good drivers weren't here. But I'm taking it.
You say the good drivers weren't there, but that Mercedes that was added to the lineup, I would say, made it a stronger field today. Yeah, and are you glad to see the back of this game?
Yeah, first thing I'm going to do after this interview, delete the game.
Yeah, I don't blame you. We've had so many errors, I think, in that session, and I think everyone's buzzing for the next games. But I'm guessing we'll see you back for F1 23.
Yeah, I'll be there.
And hopefully we'll see you on the podium even more frequently.
Yeah, hoping for the best.
The one person we won't see on the podium again is Entity, unfortunately. But
I'm here for a good time, not a long.
and again he reiterates his hatred for Brighton and Hove Albion. Over to you, Volcano. You are officially the third race winner of the season, I think, in Premier Division. How does that feel? About time?
Oh wow! Yeah, it feels very nice. Of course, the two aliens weren't there, so that makes a big difference. Yeah, and I had a lot of luck. I think Maggot was in front of me, but he made an error, and Glassy at one point was in front of me, made an error. Davey had his connection issues again, I think. So yeah, one by one, the guys in front of me just moved out of the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And we noticed a lot of people in quali and even more so in the race were spinning at various corners. Did you find the grip a bit of a problem, or were you pretty happy there?
Well, I'm the kind of idiot that still is practicing for these kind of races at the end of the game. Might be the only one.
There's
So,
no problem in that at all. I mean, it showed
yeah.
you looked comfortable at times, but I think a lot of people were struggling in the fast left-hander. Saw a lot of people cutting grass coming towards the end of the
Yeah.
lap.
I had one moment there as well, but that's a tricky corner, yeah. And yeah, Jones, I must say, you always mention that you're slow, but I finally understand it now.
Yeah, well, that was really quick for me tonight.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that AI was doing about 120s. I'd be doing like 125s around there. Rapid.
Right. I'd have left you 4 times then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I am slow. Not as quick as you boys, but yeah, what a way to end the season. Kieran, do you have any final thoughts or questions?
Well, just want to say it's been a great season. I've enjoyed commentating on every race, I think, because when you weren't here, it was me and Inorganic. I will be here next season. I'll be doing more comms with you, Mr. Jones.
Absolutely, and yeah. Well, thank you to all the podium sitters today. You were amazing. Thank you to Kieran for his comms throughout the season, Mr. Consistent, turning up every week.
Thanks to both of your comms throughout the whole season.
I don't know. Kieran has to put up with me every week. I don't know how he does it. He's got some serious patience, the amount of rubbish I chat. But yeah, congratulations, Volcano. Congratulations, Higgsy. And congratulations, Entity. And from all of us here at RPM, we're glad to see the back of this game, and we can't wait to get on to the next one and have some more fun. And we hope you guys will come watch us again. Cheers.